Hello everyone, my name is Ankit Jain. I welcome you all to my channel Tech Journey with Ankit. In today's video, we will explore how you can integrate Salesforce with the Data Cloud org, which has been installed not as a Salesforce org but as altogether a different Data Cloud org. So without further delay, we can get started with the discussion of today's video, how we can go and implement this. Hello everyone, my name is Ankit Jain. I welcome you all to my channel Tech Journey with Ankit. In today's video, we will discuss how you can integrate Salesforce with the Data Cloud org using Auth 2.0, where we will be seeing how you can exchange the data from the Data Cloud org with the Salesforce org. So without further delay, we can get started. In case you folks like to have one-to-one connect with me, you guys can do that on the top mate. You will get the link of the top mate in the video description. Basically, if you click on this link, you will be navigate to the top mate page where you can either book one-to-one call with me for having the discussions on the different topics that you guys can see on the screen. Moreover, if you guys want to download the digital products, for example, like the admin book or the data cloud books or the LWC notes along with the code base. Moreover, the interview preparation guide, which has been loved by many of you folks, right? In case you wants to download any of these ebooks, again, you guys can do that from the top mate. Basically, whatever we are discussing today, it will be available in the data cloud book. Basically, if you go and download this book, you will get a PDF which is discussing the different topics of the data cloud, starting from the introduction to the what is data model, what is data cloud, what is data lake, all these different things, how the unification works, what is identity resolution, how to work with the segmentation and the activation of the data. Everything has been discussed in very detail in this book. You guys can take this book as a quick refresher for your data cloud concept. So whatever we are discussing today, everything will be available in this book as well. Moreover, in case you folks like to connect with the wider community to discuss on the different Salesforce queries that you guys can have, you guys can also do that by scanning this QR code of the Telegram channel as well. In case you folks have not watched the video, how to connect the Postman to the data cloud, you guys must do that because in the last video what I have released, I have shown you how you can connect the Postman to the data cloud. Today's video you guys can take as a continuation, but in this video we are not connecting the Postman, but we will be integrating the Salesforce with the data cloud. But again, this is not the must watch video. This is good to know video, how you can integrate the Postman to the data cloud so that you will understand what all different things that you can do with the data cloud with the help of APIs. Now, what we are discussing today is this. So imagine that there are two different orgs that you do have, and this is the most of the times whenever you guys will be working on the enterprise, this is the kind of the structure that you will found. Many enterprises do have one org as the Salesforce org and another org as the data cloud org. Okay. Again, you can also install the data cloud org on the same org as the Salesforce org, or you can keep the data cloud org as altogether a separate org. And both of these orgs, they are typically linked with the CRM connector. So what generally the data cloud org will do, whatever the data that the data cloud org needs to be fetched from the Salesforce, data cloud easily do that with the out of the box connector that Salesforce is providing. So when this kind of an architecture will make sense, where you do have the separate Salesforce org and you do have the separate data cloud org, this kind of an architecture makes sense in case your enterprise architecture is bit complex. In case in case your customer have more than one Salesforce org, basically there are many customers who uses the different products of the Salesforce on the different Salesforce org. So in case you do have the multiple Salesforce org, then again it is very much logical that you must have the data cloud org installed separately and your Salesforce orgs are separate, right? In case your Salesforce org is highly customizable and you don't want to add the additional level of complexity after putting the data cloud onto it, then it makes sense to have the data cloud as the separate org, right? Or in case there are multiple administrators that you do have, or you do have the different sets of administrators for the data cloud and different sets of administrator for the Salesforce org, then also it will make sense to have the both orgs as the altogether separate orgs. However, there are few considerations that you should always keep in mind whenever you are implementing this kind of an approach. And the first one here is definitely data cloud do support the multi-tenancy. Moreover, whatever the data that you want from the data cloud into the Salesforce org, right? It is very easy for the data cloud org to go and fetch the data using the CRM connector. You can display that data also by using the LWC components. Definitely, you have to build the custom LWC components to do that. But the key consideration here is in case you guys have to fetch the data from the data cloud org back to the Salesforce org. For example, here you have generated some insights on your data cloud org. You have created a few segments on the data cloud org, and now you want to send that segments back to the Salesforce org. Then how you gonna do it, right? These are the few considerations that you have to keep in mind whenever you are having this kind of a structure. And that's what we will be discussing today, right? In case you do have the data cloud org which is available separately and the Salesforce org which is available separately, then there are two options which are available in the data cloud so that the CRM can access the data from the data cloud. The first option that you do have here is the data action. Again, what is data action? How to work with the data action? We will be discussing in more detail in our upcoming session. Another option that we do have is by using the API call. So what we can do from our CRM org, we can make the API calls to the data cloud org and we can go and fetch the data. As per my experience, this is the more flexible option because again, data action is also very good, but again, it have more data specific actions, right? That needs to be done whenever in case you do have very complex requirement, data action does not generally works with those complex requirements. But in case you know how to go and integrate both of those orgs, you can always make the API calls because Salesforce is always the API first org. You can always go and make the queries by using the APIs and go and fetch the data. But how you go and integrate those orgs? Basically, you have to make the API calls from the Salesforce org to the data cloud org now. How you gonna do it? Answer to this is by setting the proper authentication. Then you can make the calls from the Salesforce org, requesting the data and then fetch those data. In the last session, when we discussed about connecting the Postman to the data cloud, I have shown you how you can connect it, what all different APIs which are available or which are exposed by the data cloud that you can use to go and fetch the data. But now we want to see what all different steps that needs to be followed to go and build the integration. The very first thing that you guys have to do here is you have to go and create the connected app on the data cloud org. Right? Next thing, all the remaining steps that you will be doing, it is on the Salesforce CRM org. So the only thing that you have to do here is you have to go and create the connected app on the data cloud org. Again, while creating the connected app, you have to make sure that you are providing the correct access. That is the very first thing. Second thing here is you have to also make sure that you are defining the callbacks URL correctly, because Salesforce have put the very strictly that when how you should go and add the callback URLs whenever you are creating this connected app. So without further delay, we can also do this in parallel. So imagine that there are two orgs that I do have. One is the CRM org. You guys can see it's a Sales Cloud, which is orange in color, and another one here is the Data Cloud org, which is blue in color, right? So what all different things that we have to do as a part of very first step, I have to navigate here to the data cloud org, and we have to go and create the connected app. To do that, I am navigating here to the app manager, and here I'll be taking the option of new connected app, creating the connected app, clicking on next, and here I am giving the connected app here as Salesforce CRM org. You can give any name, it's completely up to you. Here I am giving the email address. Let me go and get my email address quickly. So here I go and put that, right? And no other things are mandatory. I'm enabling the OAuth setting. After that, I am putting the callback URL. Then how to put the callback URL? For that, the recommendation from the Salesforce here is you should go and get the my domain, or you can also get your own org URL as well, right? Followed by the /o2/callback. Again, there are different ways to do it. The easiest way and the point and click approach here is you can navigate to the setup menu, look for the my domain. Navigate again. I'm on the data cloud org only. I'm navigating here to the my domain. This is my domain URL. I'm copying that domain URL from here. And what I need to do here is I need to make sure that it is https colon followed by something like this. You have to go and put https colon, right? You have to go and put the domain URL, after that slash, and after the slash you have to add auth2/callback. So here I am putting auth2/callback. This is how you should go and add the callback URL. Right, so callback URL, it must be the URL of the data cloud org, right? Followed by the auth2/callback. After that, you have to go and define the scopes. What all different scopes that are applicable for your integration. So here I am defining the different scopes, such as, let me scroll down. Here I am putting the CDP underscore API. Another one that I am adding here is you can definitely add the full API access as well. Again, in case you have to ingest the data, you can go for the ingestion. In case you have to get the calculated insights, you can go for this. In case you want to make the queries to the profile, you can go with the profile API as well, right? I want to manage the user data, so I'm going with this one also, right? I want to make some queries, so I am going for the CDP query API and the refresh token. These are the few for now. These are more than enough. Again, if you want to have the view the full access, definitely you can go with this API as well. Okay, these are the few things that needs to be done. Again, we are not using the PKCE approach, so you can go and uncheck it, and we are good till now. Right? Once we go and do this, Salesforce will take around 10 minutes to go and activate that connected app. But what we need to get here is the client ID and the client secret key before we move to the next step. So click on this button, and again Salesforce will navigate to your email address. So let me go quickly there, and I'm getting the verification code, navigating back. Right? So here I am with my client ID and the client secret. So my step one is completed, where I have created the connected app along with the appropriate scopes as well. Now, as a part of step two, that I have to do it on the CRM org, I have to go and create the auth provider. So this is my CRM org, right? As I said, this is orange in color. So again, I am navigating here to the setup menu. Going here, looking for the auth providers. Clicking on the new button. So I'm selecting here the auth provider as the Salesforce only, right? Giving the name as data cloud org. Consumer key based on my connected app created. I am having my consumer key. I am pasting it here. Consumer secret, copying from here and pasting it here. Authorized and token endpoint URL I am keeping is by default. Again, I am not using the PKC, so I'm unchecking this. And I have to go and specify what all different scopes which are applicable now for the integration purpose. So the scopes are again coming up from your connected app only. So let me go back. So this is the connected app that just now we have created. Clicking on the view button. So this is not the one. That is the one that just now we have created. Let me search for the this is the one. Clicking on the view button. right? So the different access that I need to do here is, first one here is the API access. You have to make sure that you are copying the scopes name correctly. Come here, paste it. With each scope, you have to make sure that you are putting some space, right? So first one here is the API. Second one I am giving up here as the refresh token, space. Third one I am giving up here as the CDP profile API, space. After that, CDP query API, space, and the last one that I do have here is the CDP API. So I have defined all the scopes which are required for this integration logic, right? And here I go and click on save. Once you go and create the auth provider, folks, what you will get from the auth provider is the callback URL. So again, what you have to do, you have to copy this callback URL, navigate to the connected apps, click on the edit button, and you have to go and put another callback URL. Right? So there are two callbacks URL that needs to be defined. One is the callback URL of the data cloud org. Another one here is the cloudback URL from the CRM org from where you are integrating. Clicking on save and the continue. Coming back to my deck one more time. So we are done with the step 2 also, where we have created the authentication provider. Now the step 3, what we have to do here is we have to go and create the external credential. One more good practice in case you guys like to follow, you can also go and create the integration user and assign the appropriate permissions on the connected app. But again, that is not mandatory. Here I am covering what is mandatory part only. But there are a few good practices also that can be followed in case you guys want to do it. Now, coming back to the third here one more time, what we have to do as a part of third step, I am navigating here for the name credential, and I will be creating the external credential here. I go and click on the new button, right? Clicking on the label. Here I am putting the data cloud integration. Selecting the authentication protocol as Auth 2.0. Selecting the authentication provider. Search here for the authentication provider as the data cloud org and click on the save button. Right now, the next thing that we have to do here is we have to also go and add the principal here under the external credential. So clicking on the new, you can give any parameter name. I am giving the parameter name as an admin. Identity type I am selecting as the principal and clicking on the save button. This is the standard process that needs to be followed whenever you are creating any external credential plus name credential. I have already explained this lots of time in my past videos as well. So I am creating the principal. Now the next thing that I need to do here is I have to go and create the permission set to extend the access of that principal. So here I go and click on the new button, giving the label here as the data cloud integrations permission set, clicking on the save button. And then I'm extending the principal access to the user. So basically what I am doing here is I'm defining who all different users can make this integration by extending this permission set. So here I'm navigating to the data cloud external principal access, right? And clicking on the new button. After that, I am selecting this available to enable and clicking on the save button. Without fail, generally this is the step that many people missed, right? Make sure that you are clicking on the manage assignment button and assigning this permission set as well. So click on the manage assignment followed by the add assignment button and assign this permission to the user who are responsible for this integration. So here I am assigning this permission to the user as well. So we are done with this part also where we have assigned the permission set to the user. Now navigating to the name credential and clicking on the external credential button to, okay, before we go there, let's do one thing. Let's navigate and add the name credential. As a part of next step, what we have to do here is we have to also go and add the name credential as well. So again, clicking on the new button. So here I go and put the data cloud integration credential. That's what I am creating. So data cloud integration. In the external credential, we always go and specify the authentication. So here I go and specify this is the authentication needs to be done. But to which URL we want to do the authentication, that's what we have to go and define here. Again, how to get the URL? There are different ways to do it, right? The easiest way to do this here is by using the Apex class. So here I'm navigating get org URL in Apex, right? Again, if you navigate to the URL class documentation, they have given the steps that can be followed using which you guys can easily get the domain URL. So again, I'm copying this code from here, navigating to my org, opening the developer console, clicking on this button, and here I go and execute this command. Right? If I go and execute this, basically this command will give me what is the base URL that I want to connect with. So again, I'm opening the log file. This is the base URL that I want to connect. So I'm copying this base URL from here, navigating to the org one more time where I'm creating the name credential and pasting that base URL. This is as simple as is to get the base URL. So here what I'm pasting here is the base URL of the data cloud org, right, to which I am integrating and then clicking on the save button. After that, the next step that I will be doing here is navigating to the developer or okay. One more thing that I am pending here is here I navigated to the external credential. One thing that I missed to show you that we have to also authenticate as well. So after we have added the principal and put the name credential, if you go to the principal, click on the actions. Here you guys will see that I do have the authenticate option available here. So what you guys have to do, you have to go here, click on the authenticate button. Right? Once you go and click on the authenticate, what you have to put up here is the username and the password of your data cloud org. So this is my data cloud org, right? I'm navigating here to the users with which user you want to go and provide the authentication. So here I am select and I want to provide the authentication with this user, right? So from the data cloud org, I am getting the user detail, putting the username and the password and clicking on the login button. Right? Make sure that you are providing the correct access while doing the authentication. So here I am allowing all the integration access based on the scopes that we have defined. The different access will come into the picture. So here I am confirming my external access and we are good to go now. Right? My credentials are successfully authenticated. So again, a quick summary, what all different things that we have done. We started by creating the connected app. After that, we have created the auth provider. We have created the external credential, assigned the external credential to the user using the permission set. After creating the principal, then we have created the name credential as well. Now, as a part of last step, what we have to do here is we have to go and make the call outs to the Apex from the Apex class to the data cloud. And then we have to also validate the result as well. That part we will explore in the part 2 of this video, where we will go and make the call out. Thank you. Have a good time.